Well, here we are in Jefferson, Texas, the Bigfoot capital of Texas. And once again, we're on the trail of this guy. Well, his animated cousin, obviously. Yeah, this is an area we did some research on last year. Jack and I and our friend Daniel. And we didn't quite find anything necessarily, as far as evidence, hard evidence, but we did find some scat, I think. I'm not sure. We found some what appeared to be, possible lodging that he would use. Possible signs of like structures. We were really excited about that. So like I said, we decided to come back, check Jefferson out again. Hopefully there's some areas that we haven't seen before that we can check out and not upset the locals or the local authorities in the process. So anyway, we're here and we're really excited about this. You can see Matthew's excited about it. And we're looking to find out, if he's around. Hopefully.
On the trail, on the hunt for the man, the myth, known as Sasquatch.
There have been many sightings over the years, going back hundreds of years. Native Americans used to see them.
Is Bigfoot real?
Yes, I believe that there's something, what people would formerly call Bigfoot. I believe that there's something out there. Something very real.
Hey everybody!
Yo! Good to see you.
This is Dean Yeager. We're the B team, I guess. The A team's already en route.
Oh my goodness, I'm a special guest.
Yeah, our special guest, Court, co-host of the channel, Daniel Lopez, riding with Jack.
We're en route.
En route to Jefferson, Texas, Marshall, and hopefully from there, a very special trip to Caddo Lake. So we're going to be staying in the Marshall area, but yeah, we're going to be checking out Jefferson, like I said, Caddo Lake. Hopefully getting that little town, Uncertain, Texas, which is, of course, right near the bayous and everything. They're off of Caddo. And then, maybe cross the border to Louisiana, do some gator hunting.
We got some light gear. We got some things.
Yeah, we got a floodlight. You may not want to.
Oh, I wanna. We're hitting 635 going south.
Going south.
Then we'll be jumping on 20 east.
Oh, okay. I was wondering, making a trip to West Texas to get some plots or something.
So yeah, thinking about it, this mythical creature. Is it too soon to call it mythical?
Well, this is the first time you've been on the channel, and we want to know what your take on it is. Daniel and Jack and I have discussed it, and our thoughts and our take on it. What do you think?
Well,
Sport Court, the Razor Man.
I mean, I really haven't seen too much evidence in ancient tribes and things regarding this creature, but there is some. So I mean, that goes to tell us.
Well, the little I understand about Native American history regarding this entity, whatever it is that it is steeped in Native American lore through various tribes, not only in the Pacific Northwest and in Canada, but also when you get into the southern region of North America, from what I understand, that each tribe has its own, and you would know more than me, you're First Nations, Native American, you're part Native American.
Yes. Osage.
Okay, yeah. So very proud of that, and I have a great deal of respect for that. But in every tribe, in every tongue, there was a not only, well, I say every tribe, maybe not every tribe, but a lot of the tribes, there was tales of this creature. Some called it what, a Wendigo, Skinwalker, I guess, is other names for it, right?
And my mother, she talks with elders and natives from the Osage tribe, and they referred to him or them as the skunk people.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
they smelled.
Yeah, that's where skunk ape maybe comes from, in the southeastern portion of the U.S., Florida, and even a little skunk ape. Yeah, okay.
She has told me that, so I do know that.
Well, yeah, the foul odor goes along with the creature. Yeah, some of the research I've done and some of the stuff you've heard, I'm sure, is that it can be dangerous. Most of the time not. But there have been cases, and we've discussed this on the channel before, where people have been, very rare, but it happens, and depending on the region of the U.S., it's more prevalent than others. It's like, from what I understand, and I was mistaken. I thought, like, in Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, that this regional, sect of Sasquatch, Bigfoot creature, whatever you want to call it, was more docile. In fact, it's actually a lot more hostile.
Well, and I think there might be different cases, different variables to factor in to that assumption. Because I've also heard, like, from my mom talking with the elders, people from the Osage tribe, that they kind of just kept to themselves, but nobody messed with them.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder, they were kind of just like, leave us alone and there won't be no problems.
Yeah, you leave us alone, we'll leave you alone.
And so when people always say about them being hostile,
yeah, they
must have done something that ticked them off.
Well, and it's and the only reason I say like regional differences, because I've read somewhere that in the Pacific Northwest, they are more, well, as the saying goes, more afraid of us than we are of them. But if you were to go on the East Coast, let's say Maine, upstate New York, the Adirondacks, areas like that on the East Coast, they actually there's instances and documented reports of especially dogs being mutilated, killed, and then thrown, back into the neighbor's yard and whatnot. So what causes that, we don't know. Different temperaments, and as you said, is there something we're doing that we're provoking these creatures? Are we stepping into? And that's why I insist on talking about this, and I love talking about it. The Native American aspect of it is that they respected certain regional parts of where they were. They knew, we're not going to go over there because it's whether it be cursed, they thought it was cursed, whether it was a sacred area, whatever the case might be. Whereas, Europeans come along and like, drinking their, well, they had coffee back then, I don't know, but whatever they were drinking, just trampled through, oh, not a care in the world. Whereas the Native Americans, probably, you got to be careful, it's on you, basically. If you go out there, we know what's out there, and you're foolish.
Yeah.
And
it used to not be a big deal, those times, plenty of land, plenty of room.
And I guess, right, to them, to the First Nation peoples, to the Native Americans, it was just sort of, okay, this is, like when they carve the totem poles, I know it's been said that, you have an eagle or a wolf or various, like a bear and whatnot. But then they'll also find carvings of Sasquatch, basically, or something similar to in their lore. And, you know, the question was, well, why is it they're carving these representations? And each one of these, what it represents, an actual live animal. Why would they just throw something in there that doesn't exist?
Guys, welcome. This is the beginning footage of our trek out there in the Caddo Lake, actually, where we were at.
Yes.
You know, the goal was to go Jefferson, but we obviously, this is Caddo. This is actually right next to Caddo Lake. We're walking the shoreline because we saw something, the structure, the distance we were trying to get to, and as you can see as the footage gets closer, we just couldn't get there.
A lot of areas around this, or a lot of places around this area are privately owned, private property and whatnot. People who are settled in here have been here for probably a long time, decades and whatnot. So other parts are, part of a national or state reserve. And there are a lot of parts that are open to the public like this right here. So we were trying to do our research and do our trip here and are exploring without necessarily stepping on anyone's toes.
Yes, we were trying to respect people's property because it's obviously we're in 2021.
Yes.
It's not a lot of open areas that you can just get out and walk
Not
around
anymore.
at. It's private property, you know. We're not all looking to go to jail. We all have lives and all. But there was, as you see the shot here, this is part of the bayou that eventually empties into the lake, which is where we were headed down and trying to get to.
We really do like this spot. I think all of us were really pleasantly surprised again with the progress we made this time, even versus last time we went out there. So maybe in future expeditions we could be a little bit more bold in talking to some of the locals, and as far as being able to, I'll go as far to say to possibly get on their property or near their property.
Yeah, we did
spider?
talk to a few locals.
Yes, we did.
All of them were uncomfortable being shot on camera, so obviously we don't have any footage of that. But one person didn't want to talk about it at all.
Right.
They said they didn't want to talk about Bigfoot. I don't know if they had an experience and they just were traumatized to share it, or they just didn't believe in it. They didn't want to waste their time. There was another one that said that she didn't have an experience, but her neighbor, who lived maybe 200 yards from her, had some experiences. She tried to explain the area, but again, we're trespassers in this area. You just don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to just people who, it's a tight-knit community, especially we went to a town over there. A lot of people might be familiar with it. It's a pretty popular town in East Texas called Uncertain. Very, very small population. You're talking about maybe between 90 and 100 people. And you get into a place like that, and there are a lot of people who've been there for a long time, know the stories, know the rumors, know the things that are true, going back generations. And we were very fortunate to meet a gentleman out there. We had happened into a general store and just asking questions, and one guy was kind enough to give us some time, and he started talking to us about some of the events in the area, some of the things he had seen or heard. And he did say that he himself, on certain nights out there off the shoreline, across from, if I remember right, the name of the island was Goat Island. He claims that there are times of night where he would hear strange noises, wood knocks, howls, and things of that nature. And this gentleman, I have no reason to doubt, he's a local, he's been there, native to that area, been there a long time.
hell is that?
And he shared a few other things with us, a few other stories with us. Leads me to believe that there are other people in the area who know quite a bit more than he does, which as time goes on and as time and finance resources permit, we'll be able to explore, hopefully, even in the future.
This is a little tricky here. Just trying to step over here. I think we all kind of slipped here.
Yeah, that terrain, man. And again,
Yeah, there it was.
you're
Almost went face first in there.
none of us are familiar with this terrain. You know, I hate to say this, we're all city boys to some extent.
Oh yeah. Well, and you know, and the other thing, the one thing we wanted to do is get out there at night and try to listen around, and we did go out there and walk around a little bit at night, but it was so dark, and we left some of the equipment at the hotel, and one of the flashlights failed on us, so it's just there's nothing there to see, so we're not going to be able to share that footage as well.
Again, there's so much area, so much land to cover. And there are areas out there which you can traverse without stepping on anybody's toes in a legal sense, as far as properties are concerned. But we were really pleasantly surprised with what we did find out there.
Yeah.
Some of the structures, some of the stories we heard.
What happened?
Yeah, some of the stories we heard were pretty fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely. Right here, we're looking at Court and Daniel had found I guess you'd say just a rope out there.
Yeah, to go up this pretty steep hill.
It's way steeper than it
looks.
looks.
And I were not very equipped to get all the way up there.
Yeah.
And they heard something, so obviously want to go up there. And again, not speculating, not jumping on something. Oh God, there was something out there. But it was kind of weird, they said, when they got up there, because they felt like they were in somebody's backyard all of a sudden, which again goes back to we don't want to step on anybody's toes.
Absolutely.
So maybe we did hear something, but maybe it was just
Where are they
in
at?
somebody's house.
Yep.
But yeah, we did a lot of walking here, as you can see in the terrain. And look, that's a nice shot. Thank you, Court, who had hold of the camera at that point. Walked along the bayou for a bit, and like I said, we did go back out there at night. And it is frustrating that we didn't take all the equipment we should have had. As you see, Daniel's coming back because he's
I think
we're in somebody's backyard. And I don't know if Court gets a shot of that or not. Maybe he does here in a second. But, it was disappointing that we wanted to go out there at night and kind of listen around, and we did. We didn't hear anything, so it's not like we missed something major. I just think that we ran out there at night and we left some of our equipment at home, and I think you see that guy's trailer there in the distance. It's kind of weird. Kind of a weird spot for it.
Yeah. Again, well, as I said, there's a reason why people move out.
Yes, and they don't want to be bothered.
Right.
But another good shot there. Thank you, Court.
And as far as equipment goes, we're novices at this. I keep stressing and emphasizing that. There's absolutely certain things I'd love to own and to be able to utilize when we go on these expeditions and quests and researches and stuff like this. I'd love to own some night fishing goggles and some infrared cams.
That'd be great.
But
you don't realize how dark it is when you get out there. It was dark, and like I said, we went out there and listened around, and the cameras were on, but it was just pitch black. If you'd seen the Bigfoot video where we were outside our cabin, we heard all that noise. There was some light there, at least. There was no light. I mean, there was
Here's
no
the hard
light.
part
I
right here.
had the camera phone on, but that was nothing. It was so dark, and like you said, one of the flashlights was compromised, and the other nice flashlights we had was mistakenly left. And again, that's being a novice at this. We're not experienced.
No.
We just hopped in the car and left them.
Just as far as a compare and contrast, I mean, here we are at Caddo and Jefferson, Marshall, East Texas. But if you look, the reason I'm bringing this up is if you look at what we're talking about here, what you're talking about specifically, the kind of absolutely devoid of any artificial light, like in the city and whatnot, natural light, obviously, moonlight, some of that, but this is just in this is East Texas, a forested area, and there's a lot of forest out there, mind you. But now think about this, and I just wanted to bring this up. You think about this versus somewhere like the Pacific Northwest with thousands and thousands of miles of wilderness. Let's say you go out there and there is no artificial life except what you bring with you.
Man.
This ain't just a forest out in the
And
woods,
this,
because-
yeah, this is right here. This is right off the beaten path.
Yes.
And it was very dark. I can't imagine what it would be like out
Yeah,
there.
yeah. That's a different kind of
Oh,
scary.
really? Yeah, yeah. I
Oh, no.
definitely agree with that.
Boy, don't belong around here.
It was a fun trip. It was an adventure for us as we're in the learning process.
James.
I think we did better
Now, wait a
this
minute.
time, but there was still a lot of room.
Yeah.
A lot of room to go. And again, we're talking about a limited
More than we got time to
amount of time we
Yeah.
have for this. I mean, we're not. This is not our day jobs, you know.
No.
I'm loved we got paid.
That's
to be
why
out
I
there
didn't
for
go
2
up there.
weeks to comb a whole area
Yeah.
here, but you know, we're just glossing over here. But it is fun, and I hope you enjoy some of this footage. You know, and it is beautiful out there. It is interesting. There's a ton of footage that we've got, and we're going to share with you. But this was definitely this was the beginning trek of it. There's more here coming up. You'll see where we actually have to walk up a long flight of stairs to this weird kind of structure area. And I don't think we caught it on camera, but Torch, our special guest, cut himself open.
Yes.
You know, so we had a injured man.
Yeah.
Who was bleeding out. There he is right there. The man of the hour.
It's you know, that whole area, as you said, it's a beautiful landscape, beautiful scenery, and I'd be remiss if I wouldn't, you know, also emphasize and talk about the locals out there. Wherever we went, yeah, we were fish out of water, you know, but we were welcomed,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, everybody that we talked to was really nice, except for, like I said, that one person we brought it up to. They didn't want nothing to do with it.
Right.
They just didn't want to be on camera. So, yeah, so take a look at more of this footage and, you know, let us know what you think.
Yep. You know, in those missing 411 case files, people go missing right before that happens. The weather changes drastically, quickly. Oh no.
Oh, no.
Moonshine. That clear water. That clear water. Same with the distillery over here.
Weren't you talking about like a heavy mist that was supposed to come in tonight, or a fog?
They say, yes, heavy, dense fog. Dense. It was red.
Oh man, that's what we need to do tonight. We need to be out here.
Yeah, we need to go back, take a nap, come back.
Go back, take a nap.
Pull an all-nighter.
Pulling all night. I don't know about all night. Park closes at 10. We can't be out here that late.
You just stay the night.
What the hell did we get a hotel room for?
Won't be here in the morning.
Ew, who wants to die?
They're out here.
Where we at, Joe?
Well, we're in Caddo Lake State Park, ladies and gentlemen, where the native animal life, flora and fauna you'll find are wispy willows, gators, and hopefully we've got some Sasquatch in and around us. A lot of sightings around this area over the years, dating back hundreds of years. And of course, like Court and I were discussing earlier, into Native American legend and lore, it's replete throughout this area as it is most of North America.
He's right behind us. Oh, don't scare me.
Not necessarily a lot of, there's no disappearances around here, but there was a colony that disappeared in the mid to late 1800s. People never figured out what happened to it. It was some settlers from Georgia. But definitely sightings.
It's fire. Where at?
territory.
Oh shit. Stay on the trail.
Marbled salamanders.
Lovely.
Lizards. Snakes not so much, but lizards are awesome. I had a bearded dragon for a few years.
Next time you're out on that trail, taking that walk through the wilderness, ask yourself this question. Is Bigfoot real? What would you do if you ran across him? Why are there so many sightings? Why were there areas that the Native Americans would not go? I don't consider myself a poster child for either side, 100% skeptic or 100% a believer, but I cannot continue to dismiss the thousands of sightings all over the U.S., including hundreds here in our backyard in Texas. Are the sightings just hoaxes? Are they just people not sure what they saw, but think they saw Bigfoot? But in those, are there a few that may have actually seen a Bigfoot? Join us as we continue to search for the truth.
Visitor from this giant bug here. Just came buzzing by and landed right here on the jug, so I thought we'd show everybody.
What kind of bug is that, Court?
I don't know. I thought at first it was a wheel bug, but this one seems a little different. It's got the right size, so we'll have to check. We'll check that again to see what kind of bug this is for sure. But
The biodiversity manual?
something.
Yeah.
I think it probably smelled the water in the jug. Maybe he or she's thirsty.
Yeah, look at that. That's a big old bugger.
Oh, there it goes. Live action, Joe.